Open your eyes.
If you are wondering why everything going on in the world feels so terribly off, then you have come to the right place. A veil has been put over the eyes of humanity. Evil people in high places have been hiding the truth in plain sight and building a false reality on lies and deception for far too long. And now, their time is coming to an end. It's time to fight back, to wake up, and to begin an uprising. Now is a time for judgment.
This is a time for judgment. Welcome to today's show. In my ongoing coverage of the World Economic Forum, I mean, there's just so much information to take from it. I mean, so much planning that they're doing for these threats that just keep popping up that people are like, oh, wow, that's a threat. Well, suddenly it's a threat. And then all of a sudden these things just become reality in our world. When they tell us beforehand they want to reset everything, and then a lot of stuff, crazy stuff goes on, right? But we aren't supposed to be suspicious. Well, this is another one of the threats I've been talking about, and this is essential in Agenda 2030 and what they're trying to do. And we've heard the words, the year, I should say, 2025 over and over, an accelerated speed to 2025. And this guy hits it right on the head because he lets you know in the next 2 years that there's going to be a catastrophic cyber attack. Catastrophic. It's going to change everything. And of course, this is all planned and done by design. They're doing it, and this is going to lead not just to a social credit score online, but digital ID, where everybody on the internet is going to have it, like, for example, me right now, how I've always operated. I don't have a digital ID. I'm pretty much anonymous, right? And I'll remain that way. They want everyone to have a digital ID online for obvious reasons, so that they could track and go after people. But take a look at what this guy says about a catastrophic cyber attack within the next 2 years. How convenient.
Global Security Outlook Report 2023. This is a result of research in collaboration with the forum's communities and our partner Accenture, in which we've interviewed and sought input from over 300 executives globally. The most striking finding that we found is that 93% of cyber leaders and 86% of cyber business leaders believe that the geopolitical instability makes a catastrophic cyber event likely in the next 2 years.
So this isn't the first time that we've heard the World Economic Forum threaten a cyber attack. Now, this is part of the role that Russia is playing. Russia is going to be blamed for a massive cyber attack. They've already hinted at it. For how long? Very, very long. We've heard about this, right? We've heard about Russia and Russian hackers and attacking the power grid, all types of things. Now, people have a tough time wrapping their head around it because they're thinking correctly, but they're not thinking long-term wise. They're thinking like, why would they shut down the power grid? Why would they cut the internet off? They need to have full control over people. Well, that would be a temporary thing. And what it would be for is to reset everything and then start herding people into a digital ID where they say, look, you can't, after everything we went through with the attacks, it's not safe anymore in the internet. Everyone needs a digital passport, digital identity, blah, 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 and everything will be inside of this, and we know where it's all headed. Now, this, again, isn't the first time they've talked about it, because Klaus Schwab, after everything that went down, a couple years ago, I forget what that event was, but Klaus Schwab was talking about how we've seen nothing yet. He let us know, and I have to cut part of it out because anytime I talk about a certain something, I get a strike. So Klaus Schwab talked about what we just saw was nothing compared to the cyber attack that's coming, which is the next phase of what's coming. The cyber attack also ties in with food shortages, no heat, no air, water shortages. It all ties in with the power grid going down. And look, he flat out says it's going to be worse. There's going to be no hospitals. Everything's going to be shut down. And it's amazing that these guys just somehow foresee this. Isn't
we
it?
all
Take a
know,
listen.
but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services. Our society as a whole would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
So they're flat out telling you, and they've been telling us, that this is what the next step of their plan is. And again, I said earlier in the video about the year 2025. It's very important to remember that Agenda 2030 was accelerated to 2025. And I mean, a lot of people, such as myself, believe that the reason they accelerated it was that they got pushback they didn't expect to get when everything started happening. I've been saying it just this week talking about the World Economic Forum. These guys did not expect to be faces that are trending online. Klaus Schwab is not doing this so he could trend on Twitter. He doesn't want this negative attention for what he's doing. None of them do. Gates, too, who was supposed to be a face, but then everybody starts calling out all of the stuff that they've talked about in the past with the population, et cetera, et cetera. So people got suspicious and people started waking up. So they didn't expect that, which is one of the reasons they accelerated Agenda 2030 to Agenda 2025, in my opinion. And again, now they even are posting articles like, they talk about this, and then the same day the article comes out on their website talking about the threat of a cyber attack and how to prioritize resilience in the face of cyber attacks. New technologies are evolving quickly, creating new cybersecurity vulnerabilities. Businesses can do more to increase their resiliency, including improving cyber literacy. The focus on geopolitics and third-party risk offers an entry point for a wider conversation about cyber risk. For organizations large and small, neglecting cybersecurity is increasingly untenable. The Global Cyber Outlook 2023, released this week at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos, found that geopolitical and economic uncertainty around the world is exacerbating the threat of potentially catastrophic cyber attacks, increasing the risk for businesses across sectors. And again, it's not just going to be businesses, it's going to be personal. People are going to, when the grid comes back on, see that they have no money in their bank account. How do you think they're going to get this pushed across with universal basic income? What about the people who already have money? Just crashing the stock market isn't going to be enough. Just creating inflation isn't going to be enough. They're going to be wiping people's accounts out and starting fresh. They're resetting. That's what the whole thing means. Resetting, restarting. So in other words, what's yours is now everybody else's, and what's everybody else's is now yours. This guy's got land, well, now he's got to share his land. This guy's got food, because even though he was prepped and had food for himself, what's everybody's food? This is how the whole system is going to work. It's in the illusion of caring about other people. It's all a delusion. While these people are going to be laughing it up, eating caviar out of each other's buttholes, and dictating, again, our future. But unfortunately, with Operation Mockingbird and all the things they've done with mind control over especially the last couple of years, I mean, these things go back decades, right? And they've upped it so much in the last couple of years. I mean, we actually have people living in America who think they have it bad. And like they're out at the store, and you know who they are because they're wearing masks. But they're out at the store, and they feel like the world owes them something because of the media, because of the mind control that's been done on them. Instead of being like, I could have went out there and done this or done that, and they still have it good. They actually think that bringing in this communist system is going to benefit them. They have no idea what's coming, what a nightmare it is. I've made references to the Stepford Wives because it's the only thing I think of. Like these robotic women in Stepford Wives, these wives are completely under hypnosis, like they're robots, right? Well, that's what we're living amongst, these zombies. They literally are going to smile when they're enslaved and we have a Chinese-like government here in America, a worldwide government. They're going to be smiling ear to ear. This is great. Things are so much better. They're not even going to realize that they're enslaved. The digital ID, all these things, they're not even going to realize what they are. It's going to be oblivion. They are literally already living in oblivion. And the fact that they don't see what the mainstream media and everyone is doing to people like me and you and suppressing us, how important it is for them to cancel all of us, shut down YouTube channels, shut down, all BitChute, all that stuff. It just shows you how scared these people are. And these morons don't see that. They're like, no, they're doing it because you're purporting misinformation. What is misinformation? All we get from the mainstream media is misinformation. There isn't 1 ounce of truth in anything that they say. Every single thing they tell you is a bold-faced lie. Everything, every story, all of it. And we obviously know that. They're working people. So back to this. They say, progress has been made in bolstering cybersecurity awareness and prep. There is more that businesses can do to increase resiliency, including improving cyber literacy, communication, and information sharing. They go on to talk about the risks of a cyber threat. Increasingly, consumer data and technology is shared across supply chains, which means that a cybersecurity event can quickly cascade from one organization to another as well as across borders. Well, no crap. Because just like what we had occur a few years ago, or currently still occurring, this is going to be a worldwide thing. This isn't just going to be America. We see the hinting all around the world of power grids not being strong enough to handle things, that we have to ration our power. This is all prepping you for exactly what's going to come. And they're going to go, oh yeah, the whole world got wiped out by Putin. What do you think his role is in all this? I mean, Putin is a World Economic Forum puppet. I mean, Schwab himself said that they trained Putin. So what more do people need to see? Somebody's got to play the villain here. Somebody's got to do it. I mean, what are they going to do? Say it was bin Laden again? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did, because half the country would probably believe it. What? He came up from the dead like Lazarus? Oh, yeah, I believe. Or he was still alive all along? Okay. They'll believe whatever they hear. But they need to have a villain in place to be the boogeyman, to do these things. And that's what his role is. That's exactly what they're gearing towards. So they're talking about your data and how it's shared across supply chains. So these are things they're hinting at to tell you, hey, when your bank account gets hacked, you can't point a finger and be like, oh, wait a minute, how did somebody get into my Bank of America account or my Wells Fargo account or my TD Bank account, whatever you have. They'll say, look, this is a massive attack. This is worldwide. So you're not alone. So then they don't have to account for what's missing from your bank account. Then they don't have to account for the value of anything anymore because they can reset it. It's all about a reset. And think about it. If you've played Nintendo before or whatever, right? You press the reset button when you lost a life, right? Was that people do with Mario, brother? I don't know what they do now. But you can press the reset button, right? But you start over. Well, when people hear about the Great Reset, they tend to forget that by starting over, they're not just saying, hey, we're going to close some small businesses. They're talking about everything is going to shut down. Everything's going to go dark. And then they're going to bring everything back online. And you're going to have to be linked up to the internet. You, personally. That's the point. That's what the gene editing, all this stuff's about. You're going to be hooked up to Bluetooth. You. And they don't hide it. Last year at the World Economic Forum, how many times have I shown the clip of the guy saying 6G by 2030 is going to be inside of your body? He wasn't laughing, joking around. He was dead serious. But people just hear it and they're like, oh, that's not what they mean. That's not what they mean. They have to come up with a way to get you hooked up to the internet. Okay? People are not going to willingly participate. But if you weaken people enough, you shut the grid down for a period of time, you cut off all food supplies, you cut off gas stations, you shut them down, everything's closed, and everyone is just stuck in limbo. People are going to be going crazy to get back online. Look at our society. When I do go out, people are walking around on their phone. You try to have a conversation with somebody that works in a store, they're on their phones in the store. They can't even make eye contact. You ever seen somebody, I've said it a million times, lose their phone? How they act as if somebody just set them on fire. They literally have to get to the store to buy a new phone before the day is over if they can't find their phone because they can't live without it. So what do you think is going to occur with a grid shutdown for an extended period of time? People are going to be begging for a digital ID. They're going to be begging to get back on the internet. They're going to be begging to get back to quote unquote normal. And in their mind, everything's going to be fine if they get back online. They're not going to be thinking about the mark of the beast. They're not going to be thinking about anything. They're not going to be thinking about what was once in their bank account. They just are going to want to be back online and tweeting and TikToking and doing all these dumbed down things. And they'll go and get their food rations and they'll be a part of this new society. And then there'll be outliers like people like me and you. I'd hope you guys would be outliers. I'm not participating in this absolute embarrassment of a society that they're trying to create, this fake utopian hell. No, thank you. But they're telling you that by 2025, he said 2 years, right? And all we've heard is them use the year 2025 over and over and over again. Oh, by 2025, we got to do this. By 2025, we got to do that. We got to do it by 2025. We got to accelerate. These are all terms that they're using at the World Economic Forum this year. We got to move faster. We got to do it now. We can't slow down. That's because they don't want you to catch up to them. Because if the people catch up and realize what they're doing, then they can slow down this train that's driving off the tracks and stop it. That's why they're speeding it up, because they didn't like what they saw the last round. They didn't like the people that pushed back. They didn't like the people that came out and exposed what they were doing. So they got to speed it up. And that's the thing. Time is not on our side, but maybe it won't be on theirs either, because we don't know the day or the hour. But hopefully God intervenes and slows down these monsters. Otherwise, then we got to endure. We got to be smart, resourceful, and be able to deal with what's going to come. I thank everyone for being here. I got a new video up on the website. I hope everyone will go and check it out. It's really funny and really important. I can't really say what it's about because I'll probably get a strike, but it's about a YouTuber who led people astray because he was talking about the mark and all this other stuff, and it was on CNN, and it's unbelievable. You got to see it. So hopefully you guys will join the website, timeforjudgment.com. I thank everyone for being here. Hope you're doing well. God bless all of you and your families.